Hi, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video. And today I want to do a top 5 of the CNFT market. And whenever I start off with these videos, I like to start out with volume because volume tells us where we've been and gives us a good idea of where we're going. So that's why I want to start out with volume. And if we look at it, we have the last 24 hours are up, the trading is up, and NFTs sold are also up. You can see the volume's pretty dismal. If we go to week over week, you can see volume is still pretty bad. Uh, Volume is down, trades are up, NFTs sold are also up. And if we go to the month over month, if I could speak correctly, volume is slightly down. NFTs sold are down. NFTs trades are also down. And if we go to overall volume, you can see it's pretty bad. You can also see OpenCNFT is giving me an error, but it is pretty bad volume. So a lot of your newer mints are still doing well, and also your some of your established projects like they have been doing for the past many months. So if we go to the top 5, we can see number 1 is Raccoon Syndicate. That was a big project that just minted last week. Clay Nation by Claymates, Pitches by Clay Nation, Chilled Kongs, and the Mallard Order. If we go to the rest of the list, Ball Scout Rocket Club, Cornucopias, Virtuous Space Buds, those are considered some blue chips. Good Charlotte, Dead Pixels, Pavia, those are also considered blue chips. Beat Boys is the only new project besides Raccoon Syndicate. Raccoon Syndicate has a lot of hype behind it. Timmy the Cat from YouTube is behind the project. A lot of people like him. He is a good person for the Cardano ecosystem. He really tries to push Cardano ecosystem forward, which I like. I'm definitely a fan of. Uh, Nothing against the project, but I did flip all of the ones that I minted. I do think the floor has a chance to come down a little more. And let's get into that and talk about it. So, number 1, Raccoon Syndicate. They have 976 holders out of they actually minted 5,000. So, that's a little error as well. They have a 3,000 ADA all-time high sell and a floor of 198. So if we go down here to the floor, you can see that price is just basing. It hasn't found a floor yet. It came down, says 128 minimum sell. That's usually somebody just paper-handed and it was a quick move. This says one sold for 8. I highly doubt that ever happened. But mostly the floor is at 145, 150. I was watching that 150 level after mint. I told a couple friends, keep an eye on that level. If it holds above that, it can push back up. And it did get back over 200. It says 199 here, but I did see quite a bit go off a little over 200, like 210, maybe 208 or 218. It was something like that. But you can see the floor is starting to come down a little bit more. If it comes back down, keep an eye on that 150 level. If it stays above that, then it can push back up and probably be able to maybe push over that 200 level. Now, if it gets under 150 and a lot of people start listing under 150, then it can crater price and push it under 100. So it can push it under the mint price. And that's what I'm looking for as a possibility. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but that's what I'm looking for. I would definitely be a buyer under 150. I like the project long term, but in the market that we're in, there's just no reason to mint and hold forever unless you just have the ADA and you can do it. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. If price does come back down to 150, how does it react at that level? Does it get below it? And if so, that's where I will be a buyer at. So next, number 2 is Clay Nation by Claymates. And this week, Clay Token just came out. And it was very interesting. Clay Token made a lot of people a lot of ADA. All you had to do was be a buyer around 1 cent and sell around 3-4 cents. And, it was a gravy. It was a gravy trade. But anyway, Clay Nation, let's talk about that project. 100,000 all-time high sell. We've talked about this one before on the channel. You guys know I'm a fan. 27.10 floor price at the moment. And if we go down here to the floor, 2500, 2400, and I was looking at this around coming down to that 2000, 2300 level, but the clay token came out and these became more sought after. Now, the Clay Nation and Good Charlotte both accumulate clay every single day, whereas clay pitches get a one-time allocation, and then a lot of your special ones like Clay Buds, for example, or Papa's Garage, those all get yearly allotments for 3 years. So that's because Clay Nation is getting every day they're accumulating some clay. I think it's 22, maybe something like that, which is good. And the clay token is definitely highly sought after. It's one of the top tokens already on the Cardano ecosystem. So this is going to hold its support, and I think it's probably going to run up maybe around 3,000 or 3,200 or something. But I do think it eventually come back down, and then it'll play around that 2,000, 2,500 level is what I'm thinking. So I'm expecting it to go up a little bit and then to come down, and then that would be your buy point if you want to get into this project. You know, if you bought it now, 2,700, if you're thinking the floor is 2,000, but you know the height once the metaverse comes out, it's probably, you know, going 4 or 5,000 maybe for a floor. If you're thinking that, then yeah, it's not a bad point to get in because you're risking what, 700 for a possible long-term move when the metaverse comes out, when the clayverse comes out. So, you know, it's all in what you want to do, but that's what I'm thinking, and that's what these videos are for, just giving my thoughts. So if we go to pitches, because they had a one-time allocation, you can see the floor is now 250. The floor's got decimated here. All-time high sells 15,000, and that was probably, I haven't looked at the actually all-time high sell. That was probably one of the islands, I'm guessing. So you can see, you know, floor held up, held up, held up. It's got its one-time allocation of 5,000 clay token, and the floor tanked. And that's why I sold all of mine prior to this, because I kind of expected this, the floor to tank. You know, yeah, you get 5,000 clay token and that's pretty good, but the floor tanked and, you know, your NFT is worth a lot less. You kind of just have to hold it until it gets back up, which I have no doubt will happen. The clay project, I'm really excited about. I really do like the project. So there's no doubt in my mind that the floor will go back above this price. You know, it might take a few, you know, 3-5 months, maybe not that long. Maybe that's being a little harsh, but I would expect it to at least be a month before you would see a move above this. I'm thinking floor cratered that 200 level were buyers, and now that it's coming down, if it gets back under 200, that's what I'm watching. If it gets back under 200, or that 199 level was the lowest floor, if it gets under that, look for maybe 150, 200. That's what I'm thinking. They minted at 100 back here, and now are they going to come back down a little? And now that that clay token is already out there, that one-time allocation is already dropped, that's what I'm thinking. It can come back down here and hover around that 150, 200 zone. And then we can see maybe it find a base and start to move up from there. So those are my thoughts on pitches. Now let's go to Chilled Kongs. Chilled Kongs, another favorite of the channel. 2,000 floor price at the moment and a 135,000 all-time high sell. You know, we've talked about this before, so I feel like I say that a lot. And you can see price did come down, and 1850 was that low there. And I think I talked about last time 2,000 to 1,800, I believe I spoke about. And now there's a chance that if this market continues on this trajectory of badness, if Raccoon Syndicate can get under mint price, we can see, and it doesn't necessarily have to, that doesn't have to happen, but we can see Kongs come down 15 to 1,800. we can see that area, and that would be a really good buy point. I would be buying all of them. That would be great. However, that 2000 to 1800 zone, still a great zone. So if I'm thinking 1500 max downside, in my mind, obviously I can't tell the future, but that's what I'm thinking in my mind. If I'm thinking 1500 max downside, and then we're thinking 3500 to 4000, whenever the mushrooms actually do get announced that they are really coming out and everything's happening, that's not a bad trade, because you're getting around 2000. You're risking 500 and 1000, 1500, maybe more is what you're looking for. It's not a bad trade. But if I'm thinking it's coming down a little more, that's what I'm waiting on. So that's where I'm at with chilled Kongs. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a very, very interesting rest of August. It really is. Now let's go to the Mallard Order. Now, Mallard Order, you guys know this is a project that I kind of slept on, I guess, if you use that phrase. I didn't get into it. I got into the Discord, didn't really enjoy what I was experiencing, got out. It is what it is. Not every project is for everybody. But this one's doing very good. Floor price 400, all-time high sell 25,000 ADA. And I still haven't gotten in the Discord. I have friends who are in the project. And from what I gather, there's your duck pun, if you enjoy puns. But the information that I gather is that it is a pretty good project. The floor price is definitely holding up. It came down, it based after mint, had a little run up, came back down. Now it's still trying to find its floor, which I think could be around that 350, 400. And if that is the case, maybe 300 to 400. But, one of those. I'd say 300 to 400 with focus on that 350 to 400. And if it does find that, it can start to push up a little bit. And I was thinking that maybe this was going to be the start of FOMO, but it's probably going to be over here. Whenever this does find a floor, it can start to push off a little bit. I looked at the activity earlier, and a lot of people were buying close to the floor. Like at the floor, maybe 50 ADA above the floor, couple sells around 500, 600, but nothing like crazy. No one's buying 1,000, 2,000, but they were, over here. They were over here. So we'll see if enough floors get bought up. We'll see what happens with this. Now, I wanted to show what I've actually did this week, because that's kind of important. I talked about Raccoon Syndicate. And right here, you can see I sold one of my raccoons here. I had an offer on Seal Society. I canceled it. Over here, I sold another raccoon. So that's pretty good already. Definitely over mint. I listed a poker club. I did mint that one. And if I come down here, JPEG store makes it so difficult, but it is what it is. So yeah, right here, I sold my other raccoon. So I minted 3, I sold 3. I did buy another space pug. The deal was too good for me to pass up. You can see I sold a couple poker cards for inexpensively. I did buy another seal, 4 trait, naked seal. Love that guy. Had an offer on a space pug that I ended up canceling. Here I had an offer on a space pug, and I really wanted it, so I just bought it. 25 ADA. That's not that big of a difference, so it's not going to hurt me. I put an offer on this guy that I ended up canceling as well. I bought another space pug here. You can see I canceled that, and I bought a mobster just to check out the scene over there. I have a friend over there who kind of wanted to touch base and see what's going on, so that's what I did. So that's what I did. That's what I'm looking for. Those are the floors that I'm looking at for the top 5. It's going to be a very, very interesting rest of August. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up, please. If not, thumbs down. I appreciate the feedback. Your feelings are your feelings, and I respect your opinion, and I appreciate you sharing it with me. Of course, any comments, suggestions, feedback, description, comment section below. And of course, I will have timestamps in the description if you want to fast forward or rewind, whatever you want to do. So with that, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around the crypto markets. Take care.